Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this very special edition of the Star Wars Stuff podcast. My name is David.
That's it. Just
No,
hang in here.
Oh, I was
We're,
waiting.
yeah,
We're
we're
going.
also joined by
Taking a
Kyle,
breath.
Ryan, and Robert. Some really big pop culture brains here that I was telling them earlier. But yeah, this is a very special edition. I've been trying to get these guys on the podcast forever. Kyle's been on the podcast before, and we've talked a lot about Star Wars stuff in general. But yeah, I really want to get Robert and Ryan's opinions on Star Wars in general. So, Ryan, what is your opinion on the state of Star Wars right now?
As far as like filming goes, or the shows, or I mean, just
Whatever speaks to you.
whatever. I mean, as far as the films goes, I mean, it's been very hectic, man. When it comes down to the episodes and everything, how Disney really transitioned the movies and everything from I'll go on record. I've said it so many times. The Force Awakens is probably my favorite of the new trilogy. The Force Awakens is my number. That's the best. It gave hope. It gave something original, something different. A stormtrooper could question like, oh man, like I'm what am I doing? Like something very different. And then The Last Jedi just killed that potential. And then the next movie just annihilated everything. And then you get all this drama on record. Like, well, I'm gonna go into all the behind the scenes stuff, saying, "Oh, that wasn't the original plan, by the way." But as far as the TV shows goes, we all know this. Like the TV shows, they're really good, man. They're really good. They're very entertaining. It's weird how they're almost to a state to where, and I compare this a lot because DC has a similar issue to where, like they're almost at a state to where like the animation and their TV shows are so good, and then their episode movies are just, they don't know where to do with it. I don't know if it is. I mean, besides Rogue One, right? I'll be honest there. Besides Rogue One, Solo was just so freaking cheesy as hell. Don't even get me started. How did you get your name? Oh, you're by yourself? Solo. Like, I was like, what? I really wanted some creativity there, but that was just, I don't know. Again, I could be holding it on a pedestal and everything, and I call me crazy, but I just wanted some original creativity there. Because we all love these characters and we all fall in love with. We all have a favorite character that we love or hate it in this whole saga and everything. And we all could connect to each, to either the same character or different characters in general. But yeah, as far as the episodes goes, I mean, I'm on board to see what more they can do as far as creativity. Hopefully they don't rely, because they said it already, right? They said it, announced it. We're not going to rely on the Skywalker saga, but I don't know, man. The way they're going about with not to saying, because I'm excited for Obi-Wan, but when them saying that and then they're bringing up an Obi-Wan series relying strictly on the Skywalker saga, kind of, it's definitely different when it comes down to like, episodes and points and everything. So I'm excited to see what more as far as film goes. And I think we got, is Rogue Squadron, right? Is that still coming out?
We're not quite sure.
I was all like, yeah,
announcement at Celebration. So we're kind of let's wait and see.
Yeah, and then the TV shows. What was the other one? Andor. I'm sorry,
Andor. Yeah,
Andor. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah. And then what they really should have done, instead of focusing on like, again, though, just a point of opinion here. Like instead of just doing like, oh, we're doing a new saga or a new trilogy after that, they should have just done Old Republic and just create some whole new different, I mean, they have the means to do it. I mean, I just feel like that they're going to stick to what everyone knows, and that's Skywalker in that context. But yeah, that sums it up pretty much for me.
Robert, what are your general feelings on the state of the franchise?
It's great. That's it.
Nice.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? I was like, what? Don't tell me that. I was like, I've seen your show. I was like, don't tell me that. I was like,
Ryan, you clearly hit a nerve with Ryan. Ryan's just like, I got all of this to give to you in the world of Star Wars. Yeah. No, man, we're on the cusp of greatness. We could be on the cusp of greatness. Like, we're so close. Yeah. And I like that the missteps kind of happened early on in the franchise's revival into cinematic glory, because I feel like it whipped them back into shape to say, hey, you kind of maybe need to plan and pay attention to this a little bit more than just going with it. We all, when we heard J.J. Abrams, we figured, for the most part, like, all right, like it's in good hands, right? It's JJ. Yeah. Like, why not? But then, the thing that they did with bringing in the multiple directors and then severing that and rewriting and bringing JJ to the end, I just feel like there was a lot of course correction versus execution of a predetermined plan. And I feel like that just comes with who's in charge of it. You got to have visionaries.
Yep.
And Filoni and Favreau, who again weren't ready. Filoni wasn't ready. He didn't want to take over that kind of mantle. He was busy with Clone Wars, focusing on his world, building up a little bit more confidence to the point where he could carry that over to a much grander scale. And then Favreau was barely getting his feet wet when it came to the technology with what he did with the Jungle Book. He was so excited for what they were able to do with the digital aspect of Jungle Book and carry that over to what would eventually become his participation in Star Wars. So I feel like, we needed to find those Force sensitive subjects out there. They needed to organically be, fostered and created in the world of Star Wars, and they did, and it happened fairly early on. We just happened to misstep a few entries into the saga, which it's unfortunate, but it ain't over. We're starting. We got kind of a clean slate, and I feel like if they're willing to take a title off the platform like Rogue Squadron because it ain't ready, because they don't really feel like they've got all their ducks in a row, then maybe, and of course after Wonder Woman 84, maybe they realize we need to recheck this. But I feel positive in the sense that all our franchises have had hard times. Star Wars has had multiple hard times, and then there's something pretty badass that gets us, blubbering like in our reactions to The Mandalorian, where once they realize they think that Luke gets the clicks and Luke is the one that everybody was, chomping at the bit for, that they'll probably milk that for at least Skywalker saga. They'll milk that for a little bit longer.
They did that last season. That's why I kind of was like on board for it, but then when they kind of did it a little too
immediately,
I was just like, what? Am I watching? Is this the Mandalorian season or is this Book of Boba? Like, it's just so confusing, so misleading. I just feel like everyone's all like, let's try this. Oh, wait. No, we can do this. Oh, no. We can put Ahsoka in there. I was just like, who's leading this show? Like, it just felt misdirected. And like you said it already, it comes down. And when I talk about like the episode, I'm like the episode movies. I don't blame Rian Johnson. He's a freaking. I mean, if anyone sees Knives Out, he's a really good director. I just felt like the behind the scenes stuff with Catherine Kennedy and all that. She wasn't directing. At least from our standpoint. I mean, from my standpoint, it didn't feel like she was directing like a certain. We're going to do this. We're going to run with this game plan. Almost like a Kevin Feige, right? Like that's how we kind of somewhat want in that sense, someone to just say, we're doing this plan and we're going to execute instead of like just changing it midway because fans did not like Last Jedi or fans were split.
Feige's a visionary. Kennedy is not.
I couldn't argue with you there, brother. I'm not going to argue with you.
I wanted to interject here, guys. I think part of it for me is it's the Skywalker saga is almost like it's like Linus's blanket. They need to take it away from all the creators and say, no, go create something new. Spread your wings a little bit. Quit. We need to get outside of that comfort zone of the Skywalker saga.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, which totally leads us to one of the big stories that kind of broke this last week. Michael Waldron, who is the writer of the Loki series, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, he actually did speak about the actual process of going through and writing Kevin Feige Star Wars film that we haven't heard much of anything from. People were starting to wonder about that almost as much as wondering about the Rian Johnson trilogy that was given via Kathleen Kennedy to Ryan. But he's basically come out and said that it's not tied to anything. And when I heard that, I thought he meant it's not tied to anything in live action, animation, books, video games. But a lot of people are kind of thinking that it might very well be tied to Knights of the Old Republic or the Old Republic. But from his quote that he gave, it feels like it's going to be brand new everything, which is the same thing we were promised for Rian Johnson's trilogy. I'm excited about Michael Waldron, especially Kevin Feige, because Kevin Feige has a lot of great films under his belt, and he is a big Star Wars fan. Apparently he's bigger than Marvel, a bigger fan than anything pretty much. We've told the story many times on the podcast that he was the one that put the HasLab katana, the HasLab, the very first project they did. It was crowdfunded, and I believe it was about $500, and they had 200 more units to sell. And Kevin Feige actually stepped in and he bought those 200 units just so that that skiff from Jabba the Hutt in Return of the Jedi could be funded. And so apparently someone, I forget who exactly said this. I think it might have been Lord and Miller that said this. I don't know. Someone said it. They went to his house and he had about 200 boxes of that toy just lying around inside of his house. So they saw the proof, they saw the evidence. And Kevin Feige, he's done the Star Wars show and he's talked about his love and the fact that he used that whole kind of marketing campaign that Star Wars used 10 years after, I believe, Return of the Jedi for the first, or Star Wars A New Hope after the first 10 years. And that's when he put the 10 in the Marvel Studios logo before some of the films.
Gotcha.
But what do you guys think Kevin Feige is going to maybe attempt? What do you think of that phrasing that Michael Waldron used, that it's not going to be tied to anything? Do you guys think it's actually going to be tied to anything that we've seen outside of live action?
No, I don't. I think it's going to be something entirely new. There's nobody more Teflon within the Disney sphere and within Hollywood right now than Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige can do no wrong. And if you're going to entrust anybody to jumpstart a new storyline, jumpstart something completely new and fresh, it's going to be Kevin Feige. Look, the man has been one of the masterminds behind, right now, in my opinion, the biggest franchise in the United States and maybe in the world, in the MCU. Now, the MCU is even going through a little bit of transition itself at the moment. But if you're going to bring in somebody to reinvigorate Star Wars and give us a new direction, it's Kevin Feige. And the great thing with Kevin Feige, because of his already existing relationships with Jon Favreau and those guys, he can at least communicate. He'll have a good communication with them, so they at least know what's going on. And because I think that's been the biggest problem in Star Wars for the last several years, is the creators were not communicating with each other. And I think Jon Favreau kind of came in and has really fixed a lot of that problem. And then you bring in a Kevin Feige. I think the fact that you also have Taika with a project and people who know Kevin Feige and who already have a trust in Kevin Feige, they know to let him do what he's going to do and kind of leave him alone about it. My only concern as far as the movie side of it goes right now with the other projects is it feels like a little bit like Oprah Winfrey in Star Wars right now. You get a Star Wars movie, you get a Star Wars movie, you get a Star Wars movie. So they're just handing them up. But if there's anybody right now who I think it's the most legitimate and the person I would trust the most, it would be Kevin Feige to get us out of this Skywalker saga loop we seem to be stuck in.
And I think they feel like there needs to be an out. There needs to be these fresh stories to kind of take us somewhere, because you kind of saw it at the end of the Return, Revenge, blah, 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 the Skywalker saga. What was the final movie again?
Oh,
Return
Rise
of Skywalker.
The Rise of. Can we cuss on here? Oh, sorry.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
Star
the Rise
Wars.
of Crapwalker. Yeah.
Where's Broom Kid? Essentially, they made it feel like they were going to go for past the Skywalker saga. We lost the Skywalkers, but then that Rise of Skywalker came out and they just brought it right back in, didn't they?
Milked it, man. Milked it.
Yeah, and I feel like, with the events of, I almost said The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, it felt like, again, Luke is kind of like, all right, later, and we don't need Luke anymore. And it was just purely because, Baby Grogu makes the money and they can't get rid of it. They needed to bring him right back in. I feel like he was gone. He was going to be gone. And then maybe down the line they would tell us a story.
Yeah.
But I do feel like they do understand that there needs to be something fresh, something new. And again, because Kathleen Kennedy tends to say yes, she said yes. She was a yes woman for George Lucas and Spielberg for the longest time.
Jurassic Park. I mean,
visionaries, right? Visionaries. And I feel like because Feige now is coming in, she's like, okay, good. Yes, like she's gonna say yes.
Okay, so
and Waldron.
Yeah, see, and we always I talk about that on the podcast a lot. Is that like, I don't want to say she's at the right place at the right time for certain things, but she really is. And when it comes down to like Jurassic Park, because she gets her names on it, her names on her resume speaks for itself. I was on Jurassic Park. She could say I helped create this, I helped did this, but in reality, I mean, it just shows like when she's in the driver's seat, where's the creativity? Where's that? Where was on your resume? And everyone agrees like Kevin Feige, but I mean, I'm kind of have to politely disagree, man. I wish Kevin Feige, he's good at where he's at. There's no indication that he wants to leave there, but I mean, can he do both though? Can he manage both? Really, both houses at Disney? Can he really do that? And if he does, he better get that pay increase like crazy because. I mean, we know this. I mean, he knows how huge the Marvel fans are, and he knows how big Star Wars fans are. I mean, he is one. So it's very critical, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't doubt his skills in doing it, but it's like, I mean, Disney better be paying him a good chunk of money to be able to do that.
Here's a bigger question. Because of what I think Kevin Feige, like I said earlier, he's Teflon. And I know that he's had some goings on with Chapek, and they haven't seen eye to eye.
Yeah.
You know what a hot seat Chapek is on? Is Kevin Feige in line? He has. They've left him alone with the MCU. That's one of the reasons why I want to see him get in Star Wars, because Disney leaves him alone. They let him do his creative thing.
He makes some money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Disney couldn't keep their hands off Star Wars when they first got it. They had to do all these things. They left Marvel alone because Marvel had already established themselves. So my hope is if Kevin Feige, even if he just does one film and just kind of like gives it a kickstart into a new direction, I think that's what they're looking for him. Maybe he's getting burned out on Marvel. Maybe he wants to make the change over to Star Wars. I'm sure he's been grooming somebody out of all that team he's built with the MCU. Or like I said, maybe he's looking at a bigger seat that's probably going to be available sooner than later.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm excited for it. Yeah, I really am. But at the same time, just like stay where Marvel's at, because you're doing a good job there. I mean, it's just tough because now you're gonna have to manage both universes per se, right? No pun intended. Another galaxy far, far away. Knowing that they opened up the can of worms of multiverse and everything. So it's definitely I don't have no doubt that he can do it, but it's definitely a challenge there, man. I'll say that, definitely a challenge.
Well, it's just one film. So, I mean, that's all that we're talking about right now. I think we would love to see what a Kevin Feige-led Star Wars thing, what Kathleen Kennedy is basically doing right now, president of Lucasfilm. It'd be interesting to see what he could do. But, of course, he has that whole Marvel Cinematic Universe on his plate. So, and he talked about it recently that he was at a retreat when he went to CinemaCon, that he's going to plan out the next 10 years of Marvel. If he's going to stay there, we of course don't know. And there are some people thinking that maybe, he is, like what Kyle said, he's grooming people to take over his place. So, I mean, if he moves on from Marvel, I mean, he could just go across the hall to Star Wars possibly. Yeah. And I think Kathleen Kennedy re-upped her contract for just maybe 2 or 3 more years. And in 2 or 3 more years, that might be just one more film being released. We touched on Rogue Squadron. We have no idea when that's going to come out, if it's ever going to come out. Hopefully we get details at Celebration, and me and Robert can be there live and witness that at the panel if we win the lottery.
Watch exclusive footage only there, and it's like Patty Jenkins. It's like they photoshopped her out. They put another director in there, and then it's the X-wing coming out again. I don't know. I'm definitely excited for Star Wars Celebration. It's definitely going to be an experience for you guys, especially. I mean, I'm going to be at home working, so y'all going to be out there knocking it out, man. It's going to be awesome for you guys.
Well, yeah, the great thing is if you don't go to Celebration, of course, you can watch all the live streaming, which they did announce that is still happening. And they put out a graphic here. Anthony and Andy are going to be back along with Hector Navarro as well. I think Robert actually knows Hector, right?
We do, yes. Hector Navarro was in the movie Trivia Schmodown along with us. In fact, we've got a poster on our wall in our living room, and Hector Navarro's on it, so I get to stare at his face every day.
Dude, that's awesome.
So that's one thing I can say that is fantastic about the whole Disney Lucasfilm merger. I can say many things, but that one thing that they actually do the live streaming every single day and kind of keep the fans that can't make it out to Celebration covered on everything that goes on. But I also did want to talk about this Obi-Wan Kenobi press tour that's going on and all the pictures and all the interviews and all the quotes from Hayden and Ewan. And I mean, these pictures that are coming out are just phenomenal. Just to see Hayden and Ewan together, I mean, look at what Hayden's wearing. I mean, that's that screams Darth Vader.
Oh, let me move this way.
So I mean, the press tour started in Berlin, and we got some stuff leaked out. So a little bit of video on YouTube came out, but not until they hit London. They did a couple of shows. I think they did the BBC One show, and that's when we really got a lot of information in regards to Ewan's experience, Hayden's experience, before, during the prequels, after the prequels, and now. And the biggest takeaways that I got was the fact that Ewan recognized that the prequels at the time weren't universally accepted like the original trilogy was, and there was a lot of backlash and a lot of hate and a lot of stuff those guys went through. And it was almost kind of a situation where Ewan's like, I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for all the love that the original trilogy got. But now in 2022, all those kids that went to go see the prequels are grown now. They're adults. They have the money to spend. And we have multiple generations on the podcast. We have younger generations, and they all love the prequels as much as I do. I guess I'm an old guy. I'm 40. How I love the original trilogy. And it was astonishing when I first met these people. It's like, wow, they speak like how I used to speak about the original trilogy in such a glowing way. And yeah, it's this generation's time, and it seems like Ewan and Hayden are getting all the love and respect, and all the media members are about that right age where they experience the prequels at that right time in their life, where it's just an incredible thing. I was a senior in high school when I think episode 1 came out, and I experienced it as a young adult, and I loved it. But I did see a lot of hate and a lot of like, why is this so different from the original trilogy? But like I said, this younger generation, it's like, yeah, it's what my experience was with the original trilogy. And like Robert was saying, I think all Star Wars is great. I mean, there's some stuff that I don't like, a lot of stuff that I do, but I mean, it's not all going to be roses and flowers, you know. I mean, it's just one of those things. So have any of you guys seen any of the press that they're doing, any of the videos on YouTube?
I saw a lot of the London stuff more so, and I also loved how I think it was an interview where Ewan was just like, I had to, I guess he, if I'm not mistaken, he did say he rewatched or he was going to, or something, like he rewatched the ones he was in, of course, and then he was just practicing hello there, or like just kept practicing that, and I was just like, dude, that's awesome. I love it. I dig it. I mean, Ewan McGregor, he's just a really great actor. I really enjoy him. Every time he's on a movie ticket, I'm just like, game all day. Yeah, I love that, man. It just felt so almost like a family, you know? It's just like, hey, we're together. We're going to support each other no matter what. Everyone's excited for this project. I know I am. It's cool to see Hayden Christensen back in that suit again. It's cool to see the OG Stormtroopers, man. I love it all. That was awesome.
Can we talk about Hayden's jacket, though? Like the actual design of Hayden Christensen's jacket looks like the same exact material that Darth Vader wears, like long sleeve. Like it looks almost identical with the lines and everything.
Yeah.
Granted, the pants were a little less to be desired, but
I
mean, look at that, dude. It looks like what Vader wears, on his long sleeves. So. I love how he came in embodying once again that dark side, Jedi, former, I almost said Jedi Master. Sorry, buddy.
Man. Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Well, you're a soul crusher, man.
Yeah, and I'm sure he remembers that every day when he wakes up in his little tube of healing. But no, like I love when they walked out there, man, and Hayden was obviously the one that I looked at first because it's been a while since I've seen Hayden. And so getting him right back into where they left off, but I feel like the entire mood has changed surrounding his character,
Yes.
his participation, and what we're going to get from him in a character that we really wish we got more of in the prequel trilogy in terms of him as Darth Vader. So he was all smiles when he walked out. Granted, I felt like a little awkward where there was, I just felt like, they're all just standing on a rooftop together. It felt kind of weird with a bunch of press just kind of, shouting at them. But still, I was excited to see them together, hearing him talk about the brotherhood that him and Obi-Wan Ewan McGregor felt, seeing Moses Ingram, which, there it is. Yeah, go back. Yeah, that other picture with the two of them,
There, man.
The love, man, the bromance that they have, the rekindling that they went through, catching up, he said. And that jacket kind of looks, Ewan's jacket kind of looks like Han's jacket in Empire Strikes Back a little bit. But yeah, it's like the fact that they're together, the fact that Moses
and his pants have the high ground, apparently.
Oh, they sure do.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Dang.
Plenty of that Stormtrooper White Sox going on right there.
Yeah.
But the inclusion of Moses Ingram and, of course, Deborah Chow, having them along for the ride, too, because I feel like, they're going to be such a big part of it. I do feel like they're a little bit overshadowed because of Hayden and Ewan once again. But we got to remember what Deborah Chow has done so far for the TV series, or at least her inclusion in the live action TV series on Disney Plus, and then getting to see, the Inquisitors once again stalking down the Jedi, at least in a live action form. We've seen it in video game form, we've seen it in animated form, and now we're going to get to see it go down in live action.
Does everyone like the way they were drawn out? So I mean, I guess how they look in live action, or did anyone have any I guess?
I have to wait
from
to
what
see.
I've seen. Yeah, from what little I've seen, I've liked it. I think one of the big things is too for me is the whole prequel trilogy is so interesting because you have Clone Wars supporting it, and that really reinforced it for that generation. And so I think there's a lot of fans out there who still kind of have in the back of their mind too, not only those live action performances, but all those animated and with the voice actors and that performance, reinforcing those characters, which makes those characters stand out that much stronger. What I think the person who's going to come out of this as the superstar is Deborah Chow. I think being able to do the whole series herself and really have that control. But I also think with this press tour, one of the big things is Disney knows they're walking the tightrope with the show, because you're messing with a lot of canon here. Yeah. And there's people just waiting to pounce, not just enjoy the show for what it is, but waiting to pounce at any remote misstep. And what I love about this is that I think it opens the show up to more people seeing Ewan and Hayden together, and especially this kind of redemption for Hayden that's been happening over the last few years, with him being so great towards the fans, him showing up at Galaxy's Edge earlier, a couple of years back before COVID really kicked in to everything. But it's been a great journey for him, and I think there's a lot of the actors who've feel a sense of redemption from the prequel trilogy now, as the generation who grew up on the prequel trilogy gets to show their true appreciation for everything. And I think that's where Kenobi comes in so important. And I honestly think it is the most important Star Wars show that they've done to this date on Disney Plus, because if it's the one that really does across all the borders, because it is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I totally agree. It hits all four quadrants, and I do agree that Hayden is probably going to get that certain amount of redemption. And I think he and credit and kudos and whatever you want to call it, because before he did episode 2, episode 3, he was a real true up and coming actor. He did some really good stuff, and I don't think that the direction and the material of Star Wars really helped his career out a whole lot, but I think he still got it in him. And I think Lucasfilm giving him the chance to reprise his role as Darth Vader / Anakin in the Ahsoka show speaks a lot. And also in 2017, we talked about Orlando when they had the 40th panel. He was on stage. He got one of the biggest ovations. So that told him, I think, right there, that really was the gauge to where he saw that the fans really wanted him back. And I think that that's true for all the prequel actors. We want to see these guys come back. We want to see that continuity. And the one funny one that always comes up is Samuel L. Jackson during that 40th panel. He was on a video asking for a job, and he was directly addressing Kathleen Kennedy. And there was a member of our Facebook group that actually brought up the whole. It would be interesting to see if Samuel L. Jackson, Mace Windu's ghost, was actually like tormenting Anakin, Darth Vader, and we somehow learn about that, and that made me really think about if that was technically possible. I know there's a lot of unspoken rules for being able to interact and see a Force ghost. I think the kind of unofficial rule is that you had to have like interacted them physically or known them to actually see the ghost, because I think that's kind of something that people have kind of picked up on without anyone really going into detail what that is. But
yeah, they did touch up a little bit on it. They believe in the end of Clone Wars, whenever Master Yoda went to the Dagobah system, and then a lot of it, it's always been like, even they mentioned it in the episode 3, whenever before they went to hiding. Remember, I don't know if y'all remember where Yoda's like, "Oh, I'll teach you to communicate with Master Qui-Gon." So again,
we remember.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Okay, I was just making sure. If I'm not mistaken, I could have sworn that happened, but again, though, it just, I'm on board for it. You know, I never understood the hate towards hating Christians, or like the hate just towards towards the
I don't think he did either.
Yeah, I was just like, I never understood that. I was just like, I mean, the movies are there. I'm excited to see another Star Wars movie. I mean, I'm excited to see what this series really unfolds here, man. It's definitely going to be a really good series here. I feel like it's going to touch up a lot of roots here when it comes down to like the dads and the sons, and everyone getting together to watch this series, man. It's definitely going to be cool. I'm curious to see what more toys and stuff they're going to produce more. I know I could have sworn I saw them they re-released Vader's helmet again, I guess, like the black series, right?
But unfortunately, it's not going to drop until spring of 2023, which is really unfortunate.
What the hell?
The original helmet, it's really detailed. You can take the helmet off, take it apart, and you can see the microphones and all the like circuitry. But that's actually not going to go into production anymore. So that's like a first gen helmet. So if you do come across that helmet, I would suggest pick it up if you're on the fence. But 4K Media Guy on YouTube here, he brings up a very interesting thing that we probably should talk about. How do you guys feel with Hayden not announced as a guest for Celebration? I have a lot of thoughts on it. Hayden will be at Celebration, we're thinking. I mean, most likely. I mean, for the Obi-Wan series. I think so. But Rupert Friend was the last guest announced to sign and do photo ops with, apparently. But Hayden has been to convention, and he has signed during that time span between shooting the Kenobi series and now. And he was supposed to be at Celebrity Fan Fest in San Antonio. I was going to be there in person to get his autograph and photo, but of course Owen Wilson canceled, so they shut the whole thing down due to COVID. So yeah, what do you guys think the reason is for him not to be at a Star Wars Celebration but do all these other conventions?
He might be a little busy right now. Production on Ahsoka started, so they may be able to pull him away for a day to show up at a panel or something like that. Yeah. But we don't know especially with how production schedules are because of COVID right now. It could be really hard. It's like, no, we've got him scheduled for these days. So maybe they felt like they could get him in for a panel, but they don't want to announce him as a guest because they can't guarantee how long he'll be there.
I think Ahsoka is shooting at Manhattan Beach, where they shot Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. So, I mean, it's pretty close to Anaheim, so it's not that far away.
Yeah, how can they not, though? It's kind of hard because, like, if Obi-Wan opens up that weekend, why would you not get people more pumped up to having, one of the essentially lead stars of the show, not at like nothing but Star Wars Celebration,
Well, now, granted, they haven't announced Pedro Pascal as a guest either, so you got to figure that Pedro Pascal will be there for The Mandalorian. It just kind of makes sense that he would be there for his own panel, unless they were filming something else utilizing him. So what I think is, because Hayden Christensen is busy and is doing Ahsoka, I feel like there is the possibility that they'll do what they do at San Diego Comic-Con, fly him in. He'll show up at the panel.
Yeah.
They'll meet and greet and do their thing, and then he spilled my monster, and then flies off to go back to filming. So I feel like he'll be there. He just won't be, at the capacity that he typically is in terms of
in and out
and pictures and stuff. Where Owen Ewan is much. I would love to meet Uncle Owen too. That'd be badass if Joel Edgerton was there to take pictures.
Dang.
But I do feel like it's a missed opportunity for them to not have Ewan and Hayden for pictures together. I mean, I would pay a ridiculous price for that.
Oh yeah.
But because he is filming, I do feel like they bring him in for the panel and then send him off to wherever he needs to go next. So
that makes sense.
I think he'll be there.
I could see that with Robert's scenario. Definitely, I agree there, man. I've seen that happen plenty of times.
Pedro better be there though.
I don't know. Is he? I don't even know if he signed up for any projects right now.
He's pretty busy.
He's still doing
Last of Us. Yeah.
Oh dang! I don't know, man. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard any news if that has ended. I think you guys would know better than me about that.
Last I heard, it hasn't wrapped up filming yet. It got some delays again because of COVID. So I think he might be using this break right now to do some of the final shooting on it. Because I know it got pushed back to 2023. So,
right.
Yeah.
With Robert saying what he said, it brought up an interesting trivia question I got for you guys. I want to see if any of you guys actually know this. So, who was Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor's stunt double on the prequels?
Oof.
No idea.
I'll be honest.
No idea.
I'm not gonna pretend to know his brother. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even know if he has a brother.
Super close, man. It was Joel Edgerton's brother.
Really?
What?
Weird, right?
What? Keeping it all right. Dang.
So back at that point of the prequels, Joel Edgerton wasn't a famous actor yet. So I mean, he was
not even close.
New actor cast. Yeah. And Joel Edgerton is extremely talented. He's a talented director, actor.
Check out The Gift if you haven't seen The Gift.
Directed by Joel Edgerton. Yes.
Directed by Joel Edgerton. Yeah. It's so damn good.
Incredible.
It's creepy as hell. Yeah. Love it.
And I love that he's back, and I love the memes that are going around too, where he's just kind of tormenting Obi-Wan Kenobi and all these
burning everyone.
Yeah, he's just burning them all, Hayden Christensen or Anakin Skywalker style.
And if you want to see those memes, you can check them out at our Facebook group, Star Wars Stuff Podcast Facebook group. So I have a bunch of them there actually. But turning to Star Wars Celebration, I want to get your guys' kind of thoughts, especially Robert, since you're going. What are you expecting to see at that first Lucasfilm Showcase panel? It's about 90 minutes long, I believe. It's the first big panel. It's happening on Thursday.
Sure.
Who do you expect to walk across that stage?
Taika Waititi. I do really think that they are that other than what's going on with Feige, which is very, very much could have Feige walking across that stage, which could you imagine already? You have all these diehard Marvel fans that worship everything that Feige has done, whether you like some of the movies that they've created or not, but you understand what gravitas he brings to his presence. And I feel like him walking out, and you know how he always wears the Marvel hats anytime for whatever movie that he's wearing or working on.
Frame that, put it on my wall.
Comes out with a Star Wars hat, that would be crazy. But I do feel like one of the big ones will be Taika Waititi. Now, granted, I don't know where he is right now with Thor: Love and Thunder, but I'm sure it's at the point where he can step away for a panel and go back to working on it. But Taika Waititi, Kevin Feige, those are the two that I think will end up coming out during that first panel. I think.
Right.
Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say, what Kevin Feige, if he were to come out, would do, he'd have the Marvel hat on, stop on stage, and then switch hats.
I don't think he wants people to see him without the hat. Though. Unless he can do it like sneakingly.
I've seen him before without the hat on like red carpets before events. He's cool with it, but I think that's like his signature trademark. Pictures are out there.
One person I do think you're going to see too is Diego Luna.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Andor don't get as much love as it should, man.
I don't know though, man. Yeah,
I love
it's
Diego Luna.
I think they have big plans for Andor. I think because that's the next show that's coming after Kenobi, and they were talking about season 2 of Andor as well. So I think there's some big. I think the big push for Andor starts at Celebration.
Agreed.
Agree. I'm excited to see all those that is awesome. If you guys are able to, if they do walk on stage, it's definitely going to be history in the making for the new movies that are coming out and everything. So it'll definitely be cool to see, man. I'm excited for that. Excuse me while I change my battery real quick, but yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. I'm excited to see where they really go with more announcements, because I don't know. Do y'all kind of feel like they're going to announce like more stuff as far as like another animation show, or like, I mean,
I feel like they're going to kind of take a page out of the Marvel book and not get too far ahead of themselves.
Okay.
Now, granted, it's not like they won't just pull it from the record if they end up not doing it, which Star Wars tends to do. But I do feel like Andor is going to be a big push. The next Mandalorian is going to be a big push. Ahsoka is going to be a big push. I guarantee you we'll get something, probably a sizzle reel or a very, very short teaser of whatever they filmed thus far on Ahsoka, which also leads me to believe, that, obviously Filoni will be there, but, maybe that will be how they're like, oh, they couldn't be here because they're out filming this.
We could see Rosario. We could see Rosario come in live from on set.
Oh yeah, or like a video, right. a video on set, be like, it's true to the character arc. It's funny how I remember Venom 2 did that. And Tom Hardy was like, we're doing straight to the comics and everything. And I remember, I think I saw it on Reddit or YouTuber. It wasn't you, Robert, but someone was like saying like, oh man, this was BS from the get-go. How Venom 2 was just, how Let There Be Carnage was just terrible and all this stuff. But like it showed that clip of like he was on set and everything. So I could see that happening. I could see that where they're gonna go with Ahsoka and everything. I'm excited to see more new stuff, really. I mean, some footage here and there, but I don't think we'll see Ahsoka footage at all, though, because it just started filming.
It's true.
But
I have
they
one
did that with
question
Iron Man, though. They did that with Iron Man. It had just started filming, and they got it.
But that was John, though. That was John. That's all John, though. That's all true. John. John is smart.
Filoni.
Yeah.
It's Filoni. John and Filoni like this.
I am 100% there, but at the same time though, I'm all like, if anyone has seen the movie Chef, it's such a great movie. I effing enjoyed that movie so much, and just know that this guy can not only make, I mean, he started the MCU, right? John did, and it's so beautiful. I love him for Star Wars, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to know what more he can do as a filmmaker, of just doing whatever he wants, original movies, or just in general. So that's why it's kind of like, it's cool to see Taki and all them stuff come in and out. But at the same time, though, I'm all like, I want to see what other stuff. I want to see more original stuff, like Jojo Rabbit coming in, like more of those different artistic films that I just enjoy, man. It's just definitely.
I mean, I
actually have one big hope. I have one big hope for Celebration, and I know it's probably a long shot, but I would love for an announcement of season 2 of Star Wars Visions.
Which I thought they did. They said that they were.
Yeah, it was already announced.
They're doing it. I've heard about the Jedi animated show, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping. Have they officially announced the Visions? I haven't heard of.
Yeah, there's going to be a Vision season 2. Yes, for sure.
Okay. Now, the other question, I actually have a question for you guys, is what about Acolyte? Do you think we finally get more of Acolyte at Celebration?
I hope.
I don't know, man.
I don't think we will, though.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's not really nothing. There's no major marketing for it that I've seen, like anything big, really. I would say, yeah.
And that's why I feel like they're gonna do what Marvel tends to do, where whatever is in the gun ready to show up is what they're gonna focus on, and then maybe they'll mention Acolyte and they'll throw the graphic up on the screen, and they'll talk about it,
all these timelines,
and like say, here's a director that we found for it, like and maybe a star. But I feel like that would be the extent of what they'd give us versus actually setting their efforts, focusing their efforts towards what's coming down the pipe now, which is of course the ones we've already mentioned.
So yeah, 4K Media Guy on YouTube here was reading my mind. For Ahsoka, I'm excited to see Ezra, or who plays him, and Thrawn. Who do you think Who would be your fan casting for Grand Admiral Thrawn? I know there's been rumors out there that Lars Mikkelsen, the voice actor from Rebels, was already cast, but now there is seems to be some doubt about that. So who do you guys would think would be the perfect Thrawn? I would be fine with Lars Mikkelsen. I know the early kind of projections was maybe someone like Benedict Cumberbatch, who actually has been interviewed on red carpets, and he's kind of let go that he does know who the character of Grand Admiral Thrawn is, because he's answered right away about that. But of course,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone will probably bring that up to him, so I don't know where in the timeline that question was asked to him, but he is aware of Thrawn.
He says he didn't want to do it because of the blue. Because he says that going and getting painted blue every single day is just way too much.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that too. But I mean, at the same time, though, I mean, they confirmed? Is Ezra and Thrawn confirmed to be in this? I mean, obviously, us being knowledge in this stuff, we can only assume and everything. But I mean,
I don't think there's been anything official,
right? Nothing official,
right? We just have Ahsoka Tano in that Mandalorian season 2 episode, The Jedi, saying where's Grand Admiral Thrawn. And so we're kind of assuming the Ahsoka show is going to take place with her search for Grand Admiral Thrawn. And of course, at the end of Rebels, Ezra left with Thrawn, so it only makes sense that there should be an Ezra casting. And there's been some actors.
Sabine casting. Yeah, the Sabine casting.
There's a Sabine casting. That's
Sabine
official.
Casting. Yeah.
But yeah, Ezra too. I mean, who would play Ezra? I know there was a particular actor kind of pining for the job, and I don't think he got it. But I think the popular belief, and it may have leaked, that the actor that played Aladdin, I believe his name is Mina Moussaoud, is going to be Ezra Bridger. But of course, nothing's official yet, so we're just kind of in stasis right now.
Now, I would
that Disney connection in. It makes sense.
And I would like that because there was that whole thing circulating about how after Aladdin came out, he got no calls.
Yeah,
right. Nobody wanted to hire him.
I think
that's unfortunate.
I think it was just because how mixed critics were, and how it's a voice of opinion, really, when it comes down to it. Like and it's really unfortunate for him. Because I'm not gonna say I loved Aladdin. I enjoyed it. I really did. It was fun. It was quirky. It was something different. I enjoyed him more. Him and Naomi. I'm sorry.
Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts. No.
Naomi.
No, yeah, it's a different Naomi, but
Naomi Watts is King Kong.
I love their chemistry together because it just felt so real, and it was something very different, right? It was
Scott.
Naomi Scott. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Scott.
See, and she did a solo voice, which was very different. A different song. I love that because it gave us something a little different. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, he's gonna, I guess, play the adult version, right? Obviously, of Ezra. I mean, won't be a kid version of him. So, I could see that. I really could. As far as Thrawn goes, though, it's tough, man. I mean, as far as A-list goes, Mads Mikkelsen. But I don't know though.
Mads already played Galen Erso in Rogue One, but it's his brother.
Just get him in.
Lars Mikkelsen,
He's dead already. Oh, spoiler alert! He's dead. I was get him back in. I mean, come on, just get him back in, play another role. He's blue. We probably won't even recognize him.
Now it could be just because on our channel we just went through The Boys season 1 and 2. And reacted to each episode on Late to the Party on YouTube. I feel like Anthony Starr would have been good had he not recently got into trouble. And I feel like he would have been a really good Thrawn. Otherwise, the man that's kind of in the Disney family already, and I feel like he is just a chameleon when it comes to changing his look and becoming someone different. Lee Pace. Who was in, of course, Lord of the Rings, and he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he's used to blue.
Marvel. Right?
Blue.
Right? I didn't even think of that when I recommended it. But you're right. He's already kind of been there, and it would be a different... and then I think he was in Twilight, too. Go check out my Twilight reactions on the channel, too. But yeah, I feel like since he's in the family already of the Disney fam, maybe he would be able to pull it off, too, so...
That's a good call, Lee Pace. So, Kyle?
this is a tough one because I really think it should be Lars. That's my feeling. Was I think Lars already has the feel for the character. He's got a connection with the character. I think he would be a very good casting for the character. I was in the Benedict camp for a while, but I think it's too close to Doctor Strange, having been out and now he's so associated with that. I think it's kind of one of those things where do we want to see those connections with the same actor playing two different major characters in two of the biggest franchises? I don't know if Disney would be willing to wanting that as well. We want to focus you as this one character. And so I'm curious to see, but I think it should be Lars. I think he's got the connection to the character. I thought he was phenomenal voicing him at the end of Rebels, and I think he could just carry it right onto the live action.
Yeah.
What about Jason Isaacs? Even though I think he should have been cast as, the Grand Inquisitor, but what if they brought him in as, Thrawn? He's got the demeanor, he's got the look, he's got the voice. So I don't know. I feel like maybe he didn't get cast as the Grand Inquisitor because they wanted to use him for that. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't cast him in the first place, man. He would have been a badass Grand Inquisitor in live action as he was in Rebels, of course.
Yeah, I heard a story out there. This was just on random social media that Star Wars fans approached him and asked him about the possibility of him playing the Grand Inquisitor, and he was basically kind of like writing off Star Wars. He's like I'm paraphrasing here, but he pretty much said he didn't really care too much about Star Wars or for Star Wars, so he really wasn't into it. So maybe they did ask him, and then maybe Rupert Friend was the backup, but. I personally, I believe in Rupert Friend. I think he's a pretty good actor, and I think they made a good decision on him. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was I'm curious to know. I know Ryan because I follow him on social media. He goes to Disney parks, but do you? And of course, Kyle, you're very close to specific park.
I'm about an hour. I'm about 90 minutes away from Orlando, so.
Oh, a lot closer to me.
That's a lot closer to me than us. Than us.
Hours.
Than us. Yeah, Texas, San Antonio. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, something interesting kind of dropped on social media, and Colin from the podcast, he sent me a text about it, and it's one of the cooler items that they just dropped, and it's $50, and I totally think it's worth the $50. I'll put it up on screen now.
Oh, dude.
So if you go to Disneyland, Disney World, you can actually pick up a Cam Tono here, the ice cream maker that Wilro Hood in The Empire Strikes Back made famous as he was running in that Cloud City. So I don't know if it's functional. I don't know if it opens up. I don't know if you can stick a whole load of Beskar in there, but it definitely does look cool. And I'm in the 501st, and I have a lot of buddies that have gone to eBay, bought that specific ice cream maker that they used in The Empire Strikes Back, painted it, and carried it for the running of the Wilros at Celebration, at all the various celebrations that have happened. And I'm not sure if there's a run scheduled, but hopefully I'm on the floor and I get to take a video or pictures of that. But I thought that was pretty cool. Robert, do you visit Disneyland? I know you're probably closer to that than
I was going to ask you, Robert. Yeah, where are you closer by? Which side?
I mean, we're close. We live in Arizona, so we're really close to California. We drive to California. You felt like once a month for a while, every month the last few years before the pandemic. If you want, check out our reaction to Rise of the Resistance. Filmed our reaction on that ride. Did the whole picture-in-picture thing because we hit up Disneyland and California Adventure a ton. So I did get to go to Galaxy's Edge for the first time on my birthday, actually, in September, past September. So we've shot a vlog there, our experience, testing out the blue milk, the green milk. Man, they've got a hell of a lineup of different amazing products and merch and food at that place. I didn't get to try it all, and obviously I didn't get to buy it all. So seeing this, that they have that there, I love what they've done recently with bringing in some of the different lightsabers as well. So bringing in some Fallen Order lightsabers. That was just that being open to bringing in some of the other, lore and birch from the games, from the cartoons, and then making it in a live action universe, it gives me hope that we're going to end up getting it to live action, because I think Cal Kestis is on his way. But seeing that they have this there now, the thing is though, I typically will look at what they have there, and then I go look for like the actual like better version of it somewhere else where I could pay more money and get it even better. Because I already found one, and it looks like there's somebody made one on Pinterest that fully opens up. It's amazing. Looks weather worn. I kind of want to get that one now from Art Station, I believe, made it. But either way, seeing that they're offering these versions at Galaxy's Edge as well, it's great. Now, if they just brought in more live action characters and storylines to Galaxy's Edge, that would make it more fruitful.
Marvel's Academy.
That was going to be my point, is that you were talking about bringing in the different lightsabers and things like that, and then bringing an item like this in. I think Disney's trying to figure out how to slowly incorporate things into Galaxy's Edge, because I think if you talk to most people, that's the one knock they have on that, is they've so time locked themselves within Galaxy's Edge. And I think they instantly regretted it, especially with the success of The Mandalorian. And so it's something I've talked to some people I know, and it's something that they are trying to figure out how can they do this. And I would not be surprised if we don't see within the next 5 years some renovations done to Galaxy's Edge to kind of expand that out. I think the fault Disney had with that was they were so concentrated on the sequel trilogy and just wanted to get that in everybody's laps and in front of everybody. I don't think they took time to pump the brakes and just say, wait a minute, there's a Star Wars out there for every generation. And I think that's one of the biggest missteps Disney took with that attraction, because Rise of the Resistance, the ride itself, is absolutely phenomenal. It's mind-blowing, and so I hope they find a way to get that corrected over the next few years.
In Disneyland, they never did the Imperial March over there, where they had they had like Darth Maul, Vader. They never had that over there.
I mean, they do it during like Star Wars night and stuff.
No,
like
but
Star
like,
Wars nights.
They used to have like Star Wars weekends where the whole park was like kind of like Star Wars themed, and they would have original trilogy characters walking through the park.
I would always go to. So I was a pass holder for Disney World. I'd never been to Disneyland. I'm going to Disneyland in October this year, so I'm excited.
But you live in Texas. You're so much closer, I feel.
No, for me, it was just cheaper to go to Disney World for some whatever reason. I was the crazy one who went during COVID, and that when it opened up again, and there was like no one in sight within like 50 feet, which was pretty much like the park was like empty.
It was mind blowing.
Yeah, I was just like, is this place open? And then I was so blessed to really go like the week after Galaxy's Edge opened up in Disney World. Again, just talking about Disney World, they used to do the Imperial March every single day. They'll have it, I think, like 3 or 4 showtimes, and they would literally get all the old ones. Boba Fett would come out even. Just the old classic trilogy. But again, they would not be walking around. They would just show up and walk around, do the Imperial March, and then they didn't have Luke. They didn't have Han.
And they stopped doing that probably within like 2 or 3 months after Galaxy's Edge opened.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, because I remember whenever Galaxy's Edge opened, because I was going so much, like later that year, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna stop doing it." I live in Cali and still haven't gone. Oh, yeah, and like it's definitely I was definitely sad because I was like, dude, like it was so cool to see, and they would play like this big old monologue in the screens that they had there in Hollywood Studios in Florida, and like they would play this thing saying, you know, Yoda, Darth Maul, talking about the dark side, the good side of the Force. It was real cool, and they were all just standing there in the heat, right? It's freaking hot as hell. Yeah. They're standing in that heat. I mean, Darth Maul was sweating. It was so cool though because he came out with his lights, he starts twirling. I was like, what the heck is going on here? And it was so cool, but that was the downfall. There was that, like, I was like, why aren't they walking around in Galaxy's Edge? Like
they basically weren't allowed. Disney was not allowing any characters from any of the other films. It had to be from the sequel trilogy or something or the characters they created for Galaxy's Edge specifically. And that's been one of the biggest frustrations with the park. The park itself is beautiful. They did an amazing job with it. But it doesn't have something for all the Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, the
aspect of-
exceptions will be Star Wars Night, which
yeah.
will be happening that Friday of Celebration. And I have this pamphlet here, and it tells you exactly who's going to be in the park. You can see there Sabine, Ezra, Captain Rex, the Seventh Sister, Ewoks, Ahsoka Tano, Jawas, among
that's way more
Vader, Maul, Imperial Stormtroopers. So, yeah, I don't know, Robert. Are you going to go to this? Okay.
So no, I'm not. Just because we ended up getting our passes after they already sold out. Like, we didn't know we were going to Celebration until we received verification, and once we got the verification, all the passes for Star Wars Night were already sold out at Disneyland. Otherwise, we would have been there. Now, granted, they already had Star Wars Night at Disneyland on May 3rd and May the 4th, and it's the exact same thing as it is going to be on the 27th. So if you want to get a feel for what it's like, Ordinary Adventures on YouTube went and chronicled it. Best Life and Beyond went and chronicled it, and Fresh Baked Disney went and chronicled it. So if you want to get a feel of what it's like, the downside to Star Wars Night at Disneyland is that it starts at 9 p.m. and it goes on until, I believe, 1 a.m. But the problem is that the lines for all the meet and greets throughout the park fill up so much that you'll end up spending 1 to 2 hours in line just to take a picture with any of these legacy characters, because they got the Emperor, they have Sabine, they have Captain freaking Rex is wandering around.
What?
Yeah,
they got Rex.
Yeah, they got.
Shut
Captain
the hell up!
Rex,
Oh
Sabine,
my god,
Ezra.
dude!
But granted, if you are going to get in line, you're going to be there an hour, 2 hours. Just
that's pretty much your whole night.
That's your whole night. And if you want to ride, you're going to have to haul your ass all the way over to Galaxy's Edge to do the Rise of the Resistance. I heard not all the rides in the park are open, but you've got Hyperspace Mountain, of course, that's open. You've got even Rise of the Resistance went down really early and was down the rest of the night at, I think, on the 4th. So
that is the one thing with that ride. It is buggy as all
always
get out.
And I'll give you I mean, it's not any better in Orlando, guys. I'll tell you right now. It breaks down consistently. I mean, it's always messed up. Like, I kid you not, there's not a time where I've gone where it's not, ride has been, broken down and then it'll come back within like an hour or so. But like, I mean, the Disneyland, like, besides that night, does it get fixed pretty quickly at all? Like, when y'all been or no?
Not always. So that night that it went down, I believe it was on May the 4th, it went down fairly early and then it never came back up for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
So that wipes out one of the main attractions for a Star Wars night. But, they had some awesome lightsaber gatherings, one with Mickey and Minnie right in front of the castle. And then they did the lightsaber collection where everyone showed up in Galaxy's Edge, and Rey did a whole thing. And again, check out those channels I mentioned because they got some amazing shots from Star Wars Night. If you're not going, otherwise, if you are going, it's going to be a different atmosphere, I feel, when it's Star Wars Celebration. You're going to have tons of people from Celebration going over to Disneyland to check it out and be there that night. I wish, being that it is much lower capacity, that they would open up the capacity so the rest of us can go to Star Wars Night, because we'd all be willing to pay the tickets. But again, that's probably how they're able to keep the lines at an hour and 2 hour versus 3 or 4 if all of us got to go in.
They're still not 100. I guess they're not releasing 100% capacity at the moment.
From what I've heard from the people that went on the 3rd and the 4th this month in May, they said that they've overbooked Disneyland for Star Wars Night each night. So that's why you have all the long lines. And it actually opens up technically for Star Wars Night at 6 p.m. But the tip that I saw someone say is get there at 4 p.m. so that you can get your bracelet, because they kick everyone out of the park that doesn't have a bracelet on.
But just so you know, if you are there, you can't buy the food. You can't buy any of the stuff that's specifically for Star Wars Night. They hold it all until 9 o'clock if you're trying to go and get the snacks and stuff specifically for Star Wars Night. So
they treat it the same way they do like their Christmas parties or their Halloween parties.
I mean, but still at Christmas parties though, it's like at 7, isn't it? It's like at 7 or 8. I mean, it's not that 9 is so late.
9 is
because they're not wanting to conflict with the convention either. They want to give people time at the convention to get over.
It's true.
Oh, true.
The convention is going to be over fairly early. I mean, it's going to end and then Star Wars Night's going to begin, and it's just a simple 5-minute walk from Anaheim Convention Center to Disneyland.
Yeah, it's just if you don't have a ticket to both, then you can't go to Disneyland. So it's like, it would make more sense if like, oh, Star Wars Celebration, you go to it, you attend it, you get to go to Star Wars at night or something like of that combo. But obviously they're not going to do that. But it just, it seems definitely there are definitely missed opportunities there. It definitely is where it's starting so late at night. I mean, I don't know, because you said that's on. Is that on the first night?
It's on
That
the
is on the 27th, which is Friday.
Oh, Friday.
That would be the second night.
Second night, right? Because it starts Thursday? Okay.
Thursday,
gotcha.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday is Star Wars Celebration. Yeah, they're not giving away tickets, but we are. We're giving away a 4-day pass to Star Wars Celebration.
Go.
All you have to do is subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to enter in for a live giveaway before the last podcast we have before we make the trek out to Celebration. So we put that out all over our social media. I'll put it in the show notes so you can find out exactly how to win this badge right here in my hand. And of course, once you do win it, we will verify that it is you and mail it out to you 2-day priority mail. So you'll have it before Celebration starts on Thursday. So,
damn, big giveaway right there.
That's exciting.
Big giveaway. Dun dun dun. Oh, sorry. No special effects.
I thought you were just flashing your badge. I was going to say mine's actually in the Sith holocron back here.
Oh, dang.
That's good safe place for it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Good place right there, man.
So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I had. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to address related to Star Wars stuff?
Did you try the blue milk, Robert?
I did, yeah, and in fact, you could. I did a pretty lengthy, not a lengthy, but in-depth review of the green milk and the blue milk, and I'd say the blue milk is my favorite out of the
two. Anyone like green milk? David, you like green milk?
I like the green milk more than a.
What?
I like the color blue better than the green because I'm an OT guy. But I mean, the green milk, I could actually like buy it and actually enjoy drinking it more than the blue milk. So. Yeah, I was fortunate to try both. So, of course, I was telling the guys earlier, this is probably the biggest pop culture collection of brains that we've had on the podcast. Everyone has a channel. Everyone has a place they want to plug. So, Kyle, we'll start with you. Where can people find you at?
You can find me on the Fandom Podcast Network on YouTube, or you can also find our master feed for all of our podcasts at fpnet.podbean.com, and you can find us too on Twitter at FanPodNetwork.
All right, Robert, where can everyone find you?
Real quick, for 4K Media Guy, the lottery was supposed to open a couple days ago, but they ended up just pulling it and saying it'll happen sometime next week. So they don't really know right now.
Celebration already in mid-con form. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
We don't know when that lottery is going to happen. But late to the party, check it for all the social networking places. We're going to be chronicling our adventure at Star Wars Celebration. We will be filming our reactions from inside any of the panels that we can get into. And if we don't get into the panels, we're filming it while we're watching it outside with everybody else on the big screens. So definitely hit up our channel because we've done it before at San Diego Comic-Con with the Marvel Hall H panel, and we're planning to do it once again from inside these panels. So you don't want to miss them at Late to the Party on YouTube.
Awesome. And Ryan?
What's going on, guys? Star Wars fans, I'm Ryan D at Alamo City Movie Talk. It's a local channel we got here, guys, that we review all movie related, not just pop culture. We dissect all the Oscar-worthy films out there, and just all the artistic films like The Northman and all these, how these original films really come about. So it's definitely check it out, guys, on YouTube, all social media outlook. And my ad again, once again, David, I'm a huge fan. Robert as well. Just you guys are killing it, man. Kyle, check out your channel, man. It's really, what was it? Fandom
Podcast Network. We cover everything. We have shows on Star Wars. We have shows on Star Trek. We have a show we like to call Couch Potato Theater, where we talk about those movies. You might own those movies in several different versions, but if it pops on cable, you're gonna stop and watch it anyway. So
Tombstone.
Exactly.
Every single time, man. I watched that.
Dang. Now we're talking.
And you guys have a Highlander podcast, right?
Yes. Kevin Reitzel, my partner, runs a Highlander podcast that was one of our founding podcasts called Blood of Kings. We've been fortunate enough to have Adrian Paul on, Elizabeth Grayson, a lot of the people from the Highlander show, a lot of love there. And Kevin and Lee Lee Fillingston do a phenomenal job on that show, giving everything Highlander.
Dang. That's what's up, man.
All right. Awesome, man. Yeah, for Kyle, Ryan, Robert, my name's David. May the force be with you. Always.
Always.